and Tronmere, and that's fine. So I've got another brew that's actually going to be put on camera.
All right.
So on the left is the brew, and that's going to be Ben Gardner.
Okay.
And he is on mono blue artifacts.
All right.
He's gonna. So
we might see some War of Inventions.
This is a really fun big mana matchup that you guys were talking about.
All right.
He basically drops a bunch of Hedron Archives, Dreamstone Hedrons, Mind Stones, all sorts of stuff like that, and then just plays a whole bunch of Metalwork Colossus for free.
Okay.
All right.
And then on the right, we're going to have Shawn Tabrizi, and he's on Titan Shift.
All right. Well, Titan Shift definitely one of the #1 decks in the format right now. It kind of just does its own thing. Casts some ramp spells, casts the Primeval Titan, goes and gets Valakuts. Maybe just kills you with Valakut triggers. Maybe casts a Scapeshift. Doesn't really matter.
Definitely, it's been my deck of choice for a little bit here in Modern, just because everything in the deck does the same thing.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not necessarily, again, I don't have fun playing the deck, but it wins. It's one of those decks.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Winning is fun. Sometimes playing your deck in order to win is not as fun. There's a weird line there.
Yeah, no, definitely. It depends what you're taking it to. So for like local events, I've been playing like eggs, and I played a Jund deck with the Alicia synergy combo nonsense in it last week.
Okay.
It was just jank fun stuff. But you know,
not working on Mardu vehicles anymore.
No, I am. I have Mardu vehicles in Modern is still a thing.
All right.
Yeah, Smuggler's Copter good in all formats.
Smuggler's Copter is so good. I've been thinking of just building a Mardu Smuggler's Copter deck.
Definitely. So let's head down to the match here,
yeah,
so I don't
absolutely.
miss any of this goodness.
Perfect. We'll get our score adjusted right there. It is booked at 0-0. We're in round 2.
All right. Looks like Ben Gardner's going to start off with a Thoughtseize. So somehow Mono Blue became I play a Swamp on turn 1 in Thoughtseize.
Yeah, what?
Wait a minute. That's not what he showed me.
Okay.
I'll take another look.
I would take another look. So maybe not mono blue metalwork. I see blue spell.
I see a Batter Skull.
Yeah.
So it might be blue black.
I see blue black. I see actually maybe a Godless Shrine. What is going on in Ben Gardner's hand?
Alrighty. So I thought he's going to take the Primeval Titan. In comes a Sakura Tribe Elder, also known as Steve.
Yeah, very good.
Steve.
SCE Steve.
Okay. Sorry, guys. He splashed. No. So he is playing black now, just for extra disruption, because that was one of the things. He actually told me about this, and I forgot.
Okay. So we're playing black, blue-black metalwork. This is going to be an interesting thing. What did we get? We got Primeval Titan with the Thoughtseize.
So Shawn Tabrizi is going to cast this Explorer. Going to go some exploring. After he dinked Ben
draws
Gardner
another
for 1.
land. Plays a second land drop, as Explorer lets him do. Oof, okay. Gosh, this is a huge ramp here for Shawn. He's going to have 3 extra mana.
Yep. So he'll be up to 6. So the required mana for Scapeshift is 7.
Yeah.
When your opponent is at 18. Notably, and Ben Gardner is.
Oh, and we should get our life totals on camera there.
Push it
Zach,
down.
Yeah, Zach gonna go ahead and go out to the playing area and get that going. Meanwhile, Ben Gardner is faced with cutting Shawn Tabrizi's deck. Will he do it properly? What a clean cut. And he's going to discard a card that I do not recognize from up here, and not even Shawn Tabrizi himself recognizes this card.
So this card is a mana rock for, I believe it taps for 2.
Okay.
Some Eldrazi thing from Rise of the Eldrazi. If somebody else can
taps
recognize
for
that.
2 mana. And we have both players reading cards here. Everybody's learning new things tonight. Ben Gardner says, I don't know how your deck works. And Shawn says, no, same here, buddy.
Ben Gardner has a Mindslaver.
Oh, that's a Hedron Archive. Okay. So Hedron Archive, play Mindslaver, pass. Or not Mindslaver, play Mindstone. Excuse me. Dreamstone Hedron. Oh, this is the other part of that cycle that Hedron Archive is now a part of, I believe, right? Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So add 3 and sacrifice 3, draw 3 cards.
But this one costs
for 6 mana. Oh boy, this deck is interesting. That's some cool art too on that Dreamstone Hedron.
Definitely. So let's see if Ben Gardner is just dead. Typically, sacrificing off the Sakura Tribe Elders means your opponent is just dead.
Yeah, if Shawn can just untap here, play land and Scapeshift, that's it. Oh man, this Scapeshift deck.
Yep, he does have the Scapeshift. Does he have the land? Is the question. He does have the land.
Yeah, he has the land. Interesting. What are we seeing here?
Yeah.
Some consideration. Opponent's tapped out, so Shawn really did not a lot of. Oh, maybe we just explore.
He's just
he's just gonna get
looking for a card. Maybe he doesn't know what his opponent's playing. Maybe expecting maybe a pack negation, but he can't pay for it. I don't know.
And
float on 1 mana. Cast Scapeshift.
So we already have 1 Valakut in play. Sacrifice 6 lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep. Go get 6 mountains.
Go get 6 mountains. They will all trigger with Valakut. They will all deal 3 damage to you, and that is more than 17.
That would be 18.
Yep. One more than Xaxes, which is
so
pretty good here.
Before I played this deck, I always thought Valakut math was pretty complicated and hard to do.
Oh, right.
It turns out it's actually very simple if you think about it.
Yep.
So it's really easy. If they have 7 lands, they're going to do 18 damage.
Yes.
If they have 8 lands, it's 36 damage.
Yes.
Because they're just getting a second Valakut
Yep.
and doubling their triggers.
Yes, that is exactly it. Yeah,
Yeah.
It is something that seems very complicated when your opponent's getting a bunch of weird lands out of their deck and throwing them out in front of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you actually just sit there and think about it the way you said it,
Definitely.
it's one of the easier things to conceive of in Modern right
Definitely.
now.
And the
Given
Titan
all the
Shift deck,
crazy stuff.
Yeah, Titan Shift deck is much easier than like the old Rug decks or the Bring to Light decks because you have more mountains in total.
Yeah.
So you have 6 mountains that are non-basic. You have 4. What are they called? The green, red Fastland. I should know this, or not Fastland, but
The Shockblade, Stomping Ground?
No.
The Cinderglade?
Cinderglade. There
Yeah.
you go. The Battlelands.
Do you run 4 of those now?
We run 4
Okay.
and 2 Stomping Grounds.
Okay.
So you have so many basics; they
Yeah.
always come into play untapped anyway. So
That
you
makes
just
sense.
don't care.
I like that. All right.
And then you run 2, so 4 of those Cinderglades, 2 Stomping Grounds, and then 7 regular mountains.
Yeah.
And usually 3 forests.
Okay.
So in the sideboard there for Shawn Tabrizi, he does have Sudden Shocks. I've been running 3, I think, in my sideboard myself.
Okay.
They're just really good against all your like Affinity and Infect.
Yeah.
And it was really good against like the Suicide Zoo kind of decks as well, as well as the Suicide Blue decks. For a while there, we were also running Fog. We've now moved back to running like Besage You instead. For the control decks.
Right.
The deck definitely morphs around. I'm no longer playing Explorers as an example.
Okay.
Both me and my buddy who play this deck pretty religiously, we're on Wazilia Acid Moss.
Oh, yeah.
Which is 2 green, 2 colors, destroy target land, you get a forest, because it both ramps you and helps you against
That's a really
things like
good
Tron.
deck. Yeah, that's a really good card for that deck, actually, yeah.
Yep, it does effectively the same thing, just ramps you out another card, but it also gives you a little bit of land hate, which is relevant against certain decks, all the big mana decks. In the mirror, it also helps you set them back a turn. Well, putting you forward a turn, so it's like you're buying yourself 2 turns.
Right.
We'll see if your Ben Gardner can do the work here. So how this Metalwork Colossus works in Standard, and it does similar things here.
Okay.
Is so I'll bring up Metalwork Colossus for those of you who are not aware of what it does.
Yeah, this is an interesting card.
So Metalwork Colossus costs X less, where X is the number of non-creature artifacts. So all those Hedron archives and Dreamstone archives and things like that effectively makes it cost free. Then he casts it for free, and he gets to sacrifice his Sanctum of Ugins. I'll get that up here for you.
Missed an N there.
Oops.
No worries.
Sanctum. I can spell.
Sanctum. We have a little card picker here.
There we go.
Alright.
So you sacrifice this and you go get your second Metalwork Colossus and then cast that for free. So usually you can chain them off with however many Sanctums you have. And you usually end up with 20 to 30 power just on board.
That seems very strong.
And when people
hard
can't
to deal with.
Yeah, you're like, I have a path for
one of them. My opponent only has 3 other 11/11s. Cool.
In the matchups that can kill them with like Terminates,
sure.
You can also sacrifice 2 artifacts in play to return them from your graveyard to your hand.
Of course, yeah. So it's not even, they have the very like resilient aspect to them as well.
Definitely. So it's definitely an interesting idea here from Ben Gardner to see if it works in Modern. It's just okay in Standard. You do have Declaration in Stone, which kind of hurts when people get rid of your 3 10/10s.
Yeah, that seems
for
pretty
2
bad.
mana.
Oh, right, because of the same name clause. Yeah, Declaration in Stone comes in clutch there.
Yeah, so that's why it doesn't really see a lot of play in Standard.
That makes sense. That's a very solid answer.
Yeah, but
you get 3 clues though.
Yeah, 3 clues is so relevant.
All right, Ben Gardner hopefully going to get a faster draw here. It seems like, I don't know, how does this deck operate as a big mana deck? It seems like it might not be faster than Titan Shift, but he also just didn't get a chance to really do much.
Yeah, it looks like Shawn Tabrizi is looking at the classic 7-land hand in.
Yeah, that's a no good one.
You're going to ship all those back.
Yeah.
This is not one of those matches probably where you want to.
You want 7 lands on the battlefield.
Play 6 mountains after you resolve a Valakut kind of hand.
Yeah, that would be a dicey keep.
So it'd be interesting to see what Ben Gardner brings in here as far as sideboard cards.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's probably got Warping Wells or something of the like, which is good against countering Scapeshift in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. Warping Wailed in particular just because of the colorless aspect from all the mana rocks.
And countering target sorcery spell is pretty good. It just does some things.
Ooh.
Get our score a bit here for you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't really know what he'd be bringing in this match. Again, we don't really know his sideboard. I wonder if he's got something like Shadow of Doubt or something interesting.
Ooh.
So we'll have to see as we come up here and try to spot cards in his hand. So Shawn Tabrizi won game 1. He is on Titan Shift. Here we go. So he suspends a Search for Tomorrow, the best turn 1 play. Looks like he brought in the Reclamation Sage out of the sideboard.
Alright, we're getting that Shawn Tabrizi's name fixed there.
There you go.
And a little bit of a slower start for Shawn, but actually not that bad. Just suspending 2 of these and getting another land on the battlefield.
Definitely,
Search for Tomorrow. Another fundamental ramp spell in this deck. Both players kind of just... I mean, this is definitely a non-interactive matchup, right?
No,
these are both just trying to do their thing faster than the other, and we get to kind of see how Ben Gardner's. This is kind of getting, this is a brew getting put to the test here. Titan Shift is one of the #1 decks in the format right now.
Definitely, it's also certainly a clock.
Yeah.
The thing with Titan Shift is that it will kill you on turn 4 or turn 5, like I want to say 80 to 90% of the time.
Yeah.
It's just occasionally it'll kill you on turn 3. Most times it'll be turn 4. Sometimes on turn 5 at the latest, unless you interact with what they're doing.
Right. Unless you have a way to stop what's happening.
Again, everything in the deck does the same thing. They have what feels like a million win cons between like Primeval Titan, Summoner's Pact, and Scapeshift.
Yep.
And all 3 will just end up winning the game, usually on the spot. Notably, Shawn is opting for what I've been doing as well, which is not running the Through the Breach version.
Yeah, I think that's a little more resilient.
Yeah, we definitely don't like playing cards that have or require you to have a second card in hand. So this is going to probably blow up this Hedron Archive, set you back some mana.
Yeah, this is rough. Obviously, it slows Shawn himself down a little bit by virtue of not casting any sort of ramp spell. But he already has that one Search for Tomorrow suspended is about to go off. So
definitely. And it looked like I thought I saw Shawn's hand and it's just land. So he's going to need to draw into some sort of finisher and hopefully a ramp here soon. He'll have probably access to 6 mana next turn, which is not exactly where you want to be.
Yeah.
So looks like we got that Dreamstone Hedron there in.
Is that a? What's that leftmost card in Ben's hand?
It looks like a Batterskull.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like the tail end of Batterskull.
Yeah, Batterskull. Is Batterskull okay here just by virtue of gaining a bunch of life? I think that's what we're going to see Ben go for.
Yep. Batterskull seems good.
Yep.
So the other thing to notice against when you're playing against Titan Shift, and it's kind of relevant here, is that life totals.
Yeah.
And if your opponent's at 18, you need 7 lands.
Yep.
Of course, if they're at higher than 18, you need 8 lands.
8 lands.
So life totals between 19 and 35 or 36 don't matter.
Don't matter at all.
So this Batterskull is great if he stays above, once he gets to 18 life, which he's at already. However, he needs to be well above that to force Shawn to have another land.
I guess that's the difference. Is it is just one more land. You don't get that time.
So here comes a Primeval Titan.
Oh boy,
that's a
great draw. Yeah. Here we're gonna see this deck probably fetch up a Valakut and something else. Maybe just 2 Valakuts.
The downside here to what Shawn has,
what
Shawn has in play is that he has 3 mountains only. So again, the key thing here is usually when you're tuning for 2 lands, which is done through Calling Heart Expedition or Primeval Titan, is that you have 4 mountains.
Okay.
So that way both mountains come in, they have 5 other mountains in play, dealing each trigger Valakuts.
Right.
So Shawn, I believe, has another mountain in hand.
No, I think that's just...
No, it looks like it's just a Scapeshift. So he's just setting up to lethal him with Scapeshift next turn. But I
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. But like, so if this Primeval Titan got to swing next turn, and Shawn did not have another land, did not have another mountain, those Valakutes will do no damage.
I see.
Because there'll be only 5 mountains. You need 5 other mountains.
Right.
Yeah, it's a key thing to note when you're keeping track. Don't let your opponent accidentally. Usually it's not on purpose, but accidentally.
Right. So,
have 5 mountains because they think that's what it is.
Yeah, Shawn have to go get. I mean, he certainly has all the other. How many mountains are left in Shawn's deck at this point? Like quite a few.
Yeah, he's got.
There's Stomping Ground.
Yep, there's Stomping Ground. So he's got 4 basics, 1.
Okay.
One Stomping Ground and 4 Cinder Glades.
Okay.
If he's running the same number I am, usually most people are.
Okay.
The best part about having this Forest in play for him, though, is that Forest is the worst card in your deck once you start to get to this Valakut plan.
Okay. Yeah, because we do not, it appears, have... trigger.
Alright, so this Primeval Titan's going to trigger. He's going to get 2 mountains here, which will trigger 4 Valakut triggers. I'm assuming 2 of these triggers are probably going at the Germ Token. That would be my guess.
Yeah, just getting that off the battlefield seems fine.
Well, let's... so if you go 2 at the Batterskull and 2 at him, he goes down to 14, and then he gets hit for another 8, and so he goes to 6.
Yeah, and then you go get.
And then you could try to Scapeshift and lethal, and even if he has a counter spell, that looks like what his line of play is going to be. You go to 14.
Wow. And
then 8. Yeah, like when you get into the groove of how to play this deck, you start to realize when you need to just point at the face and essentially you're setting up your wins. Looks like he's just not going to even play into the counterspell there. I kind of like this because Ben clearly doesn't have an answer to this Primeval Titan, and it's just going to kill him on the next turn.
Yeah.
Like if Shawn draws a mountain or any way to get a mountain, he wins.
Wow.
So that's like 90% of the deck.
Right. That's just like, you just got to draw those mountains.
Like, all your forests are in play, so you can't draw those.
Right.
So all your lands you're going to draw for the rest of the game are all mountains.
Or alive, yeah.
Including fetch lands, like they essentially count for mountains. And then you have all your actual ramp spells, which will get you mountains. Yep, looks like Ben Gardner's going to scoop it up. So it's just kind of as we were talking about, this Titan Shift deck is very consistent for being on turn, on turn 4 and 5, just being able to put on the pressure and lethal you. And this blue-black Metalwork Colossus deck maybe just not strong enough or not fast enough to be able to keep up with this kind of a deck.
Absolutely, especially when it's just firing on all cylinders. I mean, Shawn's hands didn't stumble at all. He molded to a 6-card hand that was like a really pretty good one, honestly.
Yeah,
with those 2 Surge for Tomorrows. And without the relevant interaction, Ben Gardner had that single Thoughtseize in the first game. But other than that, it's just really hard to stop Shawn's deck from doing what it's going to do.
No, definitely. All right, you want to go see if you can find Frank to